Formerly fit people of Reddit, what happened? Eating and drinking like an animal and college rugby equals fit. Eating and drinking like an animal and desk job equals fat. This thread in a nutshell. Got separated then divorced. Replaced running and gym with booze and depression. Gained 40 pounds in 3 years. Got old. Knees got bad. One of the really nasty things about being really athletic when you're younger is that you never learn to eat properly to maintain weight. You always have it in your head that you'll just exercise it off. Few thousand extra calories? No biggie. Grilled cheese. I got a job that is almost completely sedentary and am it for 10 plus hours a day. That combined with other daily obligations means very limited time to work out. Kids got into activities. Seriously, we have 3 kids, and they're all pretty active. We spend a lot of time running them to their various gigs, which leaves very little time for us to exercise. Getting a bit better though. My daughters now have a 2-hour activity 3 times per week, and there's a gym just down the street, so I can drop them off and hit the gym for a bit. So far it's working well. My mom used to be like this. I know it isn't easy, but please don't lose your own health for your children's extracurricular activities. It is absolutely unnecessary. When they're 25 and you're still around, able to join in fun stuff, you all will appreciate the time you took for yourself, even if it means they didn't have piano and violin lessons. I got a desk job. Honestly, I love my job and everything that comes with it. But when I was in college I was able to go to the gym for 5 or 6 days a week. Right now, I've been working full time for almost 4 years and it fricked my body up. Currently working on getting back in shape, but I have difficulty going 3 times a week now. About 2 to 3 years ago, I was a proper gym rat, worked out 6 days a week, was eating mostly paleo and sometimes keto. I was on the verge of having an eating disorder, then, in fact, I did become bulimic and depression ended up hitting me full force as well. Started binge eating, gained 30 pounds, only started going to the gym again 2 days ago. Was on the soccer team, captain of basketball and volleyball teams at school. Every weekend before going out we'd rent a pitch and play soccer before any outing. University came along. People became lazy and started smoking, drinking, me included. Kept same eating habits but no exercise to combat those habits. This happened to an old college roommate of mine, and I think it's a common story. Played a sport every season, was somewhat fit, went to college, same eating habits plus drinking and minus sports equaled huge weight gain. Ran every single day, felt sick if I missed a day, went on holiday and realized I didn't die from not running so I decided to drink all the alcohol and eat all the meat and chips fries in the freaking cosmos. Simple really. Competitive rock climber, wrestler, surfer and outdoors enthusiast when I was young. Injured my back when I was about 18 years old working overtime doing construction carrying an air conditioning unit the wrong way. Since I was young, no doctor took it seriously even though I went through multiple specialists to get second opinions. They all told me it would go away. I tried everything. Physical therapy, yoga, chiropractor treatments, epidural steroid injections. Those even made me go blind, acupuncture, etc. Being young and being told I was fine, I'm sure I continued putting stress on my back when I shouldn't have and it completely fricked me. When a doctor finally took it seriously, I ended up being prescribed opioids which I of course became addicted to and that is a whole other story. Now I have permanent nerve damage and loss of muscle function in my left leg. And since then the depression and booze have gotten the best of me. Just the typical downward spiral I guess. I have tried working out and I always start strong but after a couple weeks I always manage to exacerbate the injury or the complications that developed from it and fall back down to square one. At this point I have basically given up on being able to do the things I loved. I would just be happy to be healthy. Quit smoking which upped my workout game. Then I started vaping Juuls. Every other vape I had no problem but these killed my lung capacity. Worse than smoking. So, like any addict, instead of quitting vaping I just stopped working out. Shame on me, I know. Worked out religiously every day for 3 years, 6 days a week with a very strict diet. Before that, played baseball for 13 years, basketball for 6 years, football for 2 years and being very active. And then I got a girlfriend. Now I gained a bunch of weight and my diet is trash. I have gone back and gotten back to a good place with my body, but I always fall off. I think it's because I don't have to try to get laid anymore. Starting defensive lineman in high school. Enter college. Workout every day. Super fit. Meet girl. She goes to gym with me. Feelings get involved. Feelings get hurt. Stop going to gym because reminds me of her. Too depressed in general. Become alcoholic for 6 years. Put on a load of weight. Get life back together finally. Quit drinking. Start working out and get knee busted breaking up a fight at work. Can't walk for a while. Start working out again. Getting car wreck. Messed up lower back and head. The fell clutch of circumstance. Beer. Taco Bell cravings deal. 1050 calories of pure, satanic bliss. These will be the death of me. I went from being underweight, working out 5 days a week, playing basketball once a week and practicing twice a week, competitive martial arts 3 times a week, and slamming back 4,000 calories a day, to bedridden for a year after having 2 surgeries on my spine at 14. I think I gained like 150 pounds in a year and a half. My body never recovered, having 4 more surgeries, MRSA, and my spine and hip becoming physically fricked up from trying to cope with the pain. Every day is physical agony for me, and working out reduces me to tears from the pain. Kids, I'm a man. Mental illness, depression, medication, lower testosterone, no longer have the energy to work out. It sucks. My mom died in February of 2013 when I was 35. She had a lot of health problems like high cholesterol and hypertension, of which I also suffer, so I was trying to stem the tide of those issues. I was doing a regular fitness and strength training routine for about a year, had lost a good 40 pounds of fat, and started putting on muscle. My father had a stroke in May of 2015. He lived with my wife and I, and she found him on the floor one morning before she left for work. The image of him lying there, trying to get up and reaching for me to help him is burned into my mind. While undergoing treatment for the stroke, they found a lesion in his lung. He had prostate cancer about 8 years prior. They were creating a treatment plan for the cancer when he then had a heart attack. He died in September of 2015, the morning after my wife's birthday. In fact, his last few days were spent in a bed at my sister's house, unconscious and unable to eat or drink. I said goodbye, and I can only hope he heard me. I stopped caring about a lot of things, my personal well-being one of them. I gained that 40 back and then a few more on top of it. I've only recently started to come around. I still haven't dragged myself back to the gym, but I hope to soon. I stopped working out and started enjoying craft beer. It got cold, therefore 20 times harder for me to get out of bed. I had put on a decent amount of muscle, was eating 2,600-ish calories a day, worked out 2-3 times a week, and then the person I was trying to impress left. Now I barely eat 2k calories, lost a good 10 pounds, and haven't worked out since December. There's also this New Year's resolution thing, so gyms are probably packed and I don't want to deal with that. For about 3.5 years, 39-42 age range, I worked out religiously, 5 days a week, mass gain and CrossFit. I ate right, took vitamins. I was hardcore into it. I got up to about 210 pounds. I was solid and thick for my frame. 5-11. It was the best shape I have ever been in. My routine was I'd get home from work at 5, feed and play with my dog till 6, then go work out for an hour or so. One day, it was a Wednesday, I began my usual routine, fed my dog, played with her a little and sat on the sofa for a minute or two and put on the TV. Sitting there, this thought entered my head, you know, I just ain't feeling it tonight, maybe I will just stay home this one time. No big deal. I never set foot in a gym or CrossFit since that night. I forgot how enjoyable it was to come home from work and just chill out on the sofa and watch TV. Now 6 years later, the thought of working out exhausts me. It truly is a mindset and my mind just ain't on it anymore. Yes, I have those glimmer of thoughts once in a blue moon. I'll get back into it. I looked good but I am quickly soured to it. Don't miss it one bit. Ice cream. Ice cream happened. I broke my foot last February and haven't been able to run since. And I can't exercise my upper body because my shoulders won't stay in socket. It's been a fun year. I was about 180 pounds and I'm 6 feet tall. Now I've doubled in size. I started working at a nice restaurant when I was 20 and gained an appreciation for food and the culinary arts. Roughly 18 months later, I stepped on a scale and weighed about 225 pounds. I remember thinking, oh, better do something about this. I had also moved to a big city and started smoking cigarettes. Instead of losing weight, I just kept gaining it. And about 3 years later, I weighed about 250. I hated working out as a smoker, so I quit smoking. That next 12 months, I kept gaining weight. I replaced smoking with more overeating. Then I quit smoking again, knowing that I just had to do it. So in 2012, I quit smoking for the second time and haven't smoked since. Unfortunately, by that point, I was a full-blown food addict. Every meal was thought about and I couldn't wait to eat it. I was in college and very sedentary at this point. By summer of 2013, I was about 330 pounds. I would fail every time I attempted to lose weight. By 2015, I was about 380 pounds, and I've somehow managed to maintain that without crossing the 400 pound threshold. I have recently changed my habits differently than I have tried before. Instead of drastic changes, small changes. Soda and sugary beverages are always the first thing I go back to. It's easy to put down 1000 calories a day in soda. I hate diet drinks, so it's just water and club soda with maybe a squeeze of lime. It's really hard. I'm ashamed of myself and just want my life back. I personally believe sugar is a very toxic substance and hope that more and more people realize this. And I don't just mean the white grainy stuff you put in coffee and cakes, but anything that causes your blood sugar to raise. It's hard to consume sugar and things that turn to glucose moderately. I've amped up my efforts since the new year and have a good feeling about this run. Christmas came around, decided to take the week off from the gym, stuffed my face with all the food I could eat and haven't been back to the gym since. Was a gymnast for 14 years. The usual gymnast life. Both rotator cuffs are shot. Rings was my event. Still have a ton of core strength left but it's under a few layers of fat now. I'm 27, 5'9" and weigh 165. And my shoulders would pop out of socket with the first grab of the rings now. I still play a ton of soccer, but will never be in the shape I used to be. Also, beer. Fellow ex-gymnast here, and you're spot on. While I'm not out of shape by most standards, still very active, I have had to come to terms with the fact that I will also never be in the shape that I used to be. You just can't mimic the elite athlete lifestyle when the standard job plus family plus house plus etc adulting takes over. Got a desk job. Becoming a firefighter. No, seriously, before I became a jolly volley, I was in great shape. I would spend 2-4 hours of my spare time a day working out and prepping my meals. Once I began spending more time responding to fire calls and eating firehouse dinners, I quietly gained roughly 45 pounds in the past 2 years I've been with the fire service. Kinda regret it, kinda don't. 100 pounds ago, I used to run 4 miles a day in about 26 minutes. Graduated college right when the economy crashed in 2008 and I was magically overqualified and didn't have any experience. My industry died in my area, bought out and downsized by mega corporations. I was redundant, and the several hundred folks that lost their jobs had way more experience were competing with me for the same jobs, and they already lived in the area the mega corporations were located. I didn't have money for a bus ticket to get out there to interview. I did the job search for half a year. I applied everywhere. I lost all my motivation, my money, and just quit. I did eventually find a job in my field, but it's not what I wanted and the pay isn't what things would have been pre-2008. I never got back to running 4 miles a day. I miss the guy I was back in college, because everything was so possible back then. Mild depression. A stupid hectic schedule. I was working full time, have 2 kids in activities, and decided it would be a good idea to go back to school, so was managing 2-3 classes semester. Oh, and also getting our house ready for moving out of, and overall a sense of just being tired of fighting what my body naturally wants to do. So yeah, I'm back in a size 12 when I was a 4/6. Working on it again though, and trying to cut back things in life that aren't 100% necessary. This is one I have a lot of thoughts about. As a top level endurance mountain bike racer, I wasn't just fit, I was world class fit. I maintained a training volume and intensity that would embarrass most full-time pros, at the same time as my day job. My advantage was that my body would just let me go deep. I could recover and go hard on monster rides, day after day. Then, in fall 2014, I came down with viral myocarditis, which knocked me down pretty hard and left me with scar tissue on my heart. After I recovered, I never could dig as deep anymore. I tried to make a comeback a time or two, but each time my brain let me go faster than my body was ready for, and I had a cascade of injuries, low back, knees, broken ribs. Eventually I just accepted it and moved on. Now I'm learning to whitewater kayak, and it's better for me than bikes ever were. Before, competition and ego were too tempting. Now, it's all about finding joy in nature and risk. Being really fit is great fun, but it's fickle and it never lasts. All of us will be formally fit sooner or later. Enjoy it, but don't let it define your identity, because one day you'll lose it. You don't want to lose yourself in the process. Marriage. I am a 5'4" in male, high school, weight 120-160 pounds. All through high school I played soccer and lifted weights. College, freshman-sophomore year, weight 150 pounds. Triathlete. Problems arose when I decided to complete a half Ironman my junior year of college. I started training in January and completed it in July. I was training multiple hours a day and simply burned myself out. College, junior-senior year, weight 215-220 pounds. Bad eating habits with a lack of working out, especially after how intense I was training, destroyed my body. Was a skinny and healthy kid. Had to start taking tons of medication, some for ADD and others for depression. The medication made me gain weight, combined with a ton of mental health problems. I just stopped caring and gained weight. 1. Necessarily sedentary lifestyle. 2. Still enjoy a diet too similar to what I enjoyed when I was training 6 days a week. 3. Exercise further curtailed by injury and general dissatisfaction with level of performance. The combination of 1 and 2 is what trips most people up, but the latter is really a killer. When you're proficient at something, it is a miserable experience to feel yourself doing things at a level that would have been embarrassingly poor not so long ago. You end up wanting to avoid those activities simply out of shame. What most of these people won't tell you the real reason is this: food tastes good. Tore my hamstring off the bone. Surgery. Just started to rehab. Diagnosed with testicular cancer. Bam. Surgery again. And hard chemo for 3 months. Ended up with brittle hamstring. And damaged hand, feet, and lungs due to neuropathy. Both hands and feet have lost sensation, to the point of my feet feeling like they are asleep while on the treadmill. Lung capacity is difficult. Now overweight. This is Kato of Power. If you subscribe, your power level will increase by 64 levels. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.